So, what is a good way to not spend a lot on chicken feed, especially when you have a lot of birds? The best way is to ferment your feed. So you have to excuse how I'm dressed. Not very appealing, but let's get into it. So the best way to make sure that your birds get the right nutrition for the cheapest way possible is to ferment your feed. And it's actually really easy to do. Requires about 2 days, and you can double the volume of your feed. So like I have, I don't know, 100 some birds, and if I feed them all dry feed, it costs a lot of money. So you don't want to feed them all dry feed. So let's go through some steps on how to prepare it, and then I'll tell you why. So I'm going to flip the camera around and I will show you how I prepare my fermented feed. So first, in my case, you generally want to mix about 1 to 1 of water. So I got 2 5-gallon buckets here. You can see a regular Homer bucket and a Tidy Cats bucket, and they're both 5-gallon. So like I said, 1 to 1. You take your hose and you turn it on the one that puts out the most water, even if it's opening, taking the thing off the end. And you fill this guy about half, most of the way. So like I said, about 1 to 1. All right, we're most of the way full here. You're going to want to mix this somehow. I got this auger off a Traeger pellet grill, and it works really good. It's a shaftless auger. You can find it on Amazon for about, I think, $30. Fits in a 3/8 drill. So I just use this to mix up my feed to get all the water mixed into it. This isn't enough water. So what that's showing you right now is that the feed has enough water into it to make it sloppy, but not enough, if you can pull it out and see feed coming up like that, it's not enough to take care of the feed absorbing the water. So what'll happen is you'll leave it like this overnight, and you'll come out tomorrow morning and find that all the water's gone. It looks dry. So you want to add more water and take it up all the way to the top. And try not to get yourself covered in liquidy feed. Now, here's the most important part. Just leaving the water like this with the feed isn't enough to ferment it. So you need to add yeast. Now, I got this stuff. You need to add a live yeast. If you add a killed yeast, like Brewers yeast that comes in a bag, or nutritional yeast or whatever, it's not going to ferment. That Calmback Optifirm XL has live feed in it, live yeast in it, and you need to inoculate it. So put your yeast in, and I'm adding this much because why not? No, realistically, the answer is because this has a lot of niacin in it. And even if it doesn't fully ferment, it will add niacin to my feed for my ducks. So we'll check back here in 2 days or so, when I feed this to them. And I'll show you what it looks like. And we're back. So this is day number, I did this yesterday, so really day number 1 since I did it yesterday evening. And this is what happens when they ferment. So you can see that stuff is coming up over the edge. It's actually spilled on the floor a bit, and it's nice and disgusting, like poop. Ew, very gross. Same as this one. So I'm gonna mix these up real quick. how deep that is. All right, we're all pretty mixed up here now. Pull a piece of this corn out, I guess. So it's softer, but it's not fully soft yet. So if you leave this go longer and keep adding water and whatever, it'll soften up all these grains, and like I said, they'll be able to digest them easier. But I do need to feed one of these to my birds tonight. So we're gonna go for this one. And now this one had less feed in it and more water. This one had more feed and less water. And you can see the difference here. You can actually see this one bubbling and, you know, doing stuff. And that's actually because it's carbonated. So from the fermentation. And I would assume it actually does have an alcoholic content to it. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm encouraging my geese to be drinkers. Who knows? But I'm gonna feed one of these to the geese, and yeah. So that's fermentation. And the longer you let it go, the softer it all gets, and the more able they are to process the grains that are, you know, being fed to them. So your feed goes further, right? Everyone likes to save a buck. Ferment your feeds, you spend less. So, see ya. Hope you learned something. Be good.